Hello and welcome to all of you couples who have been trying to conceive. You're welcome to Nurse Peace channel where we talk about fertility, women's health and everything health. So in this video, I'm going to be telling you those mistakes you've been making while trying to conceive. These mistakes are things you may have been doing without knowing that they could affect your fertility, or they could be the things preventing you from getting pregnant. I will be telling you 8 of these mistakes, and out of these 8, you could be shocked that you are making 1, 2 or more of these mistakes. Without wasting much of your time, let's get into it. But before that, if you're seeing me for the first time, my name is Peace Chueze, a registered nurse and midwife who currently practices with NHS in England. If you enjoy this kind of content, stick around, subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so that you will always get the latest update anytime I upload a new video. So let's get started. The very first mistake a lot of couples make when trying to conceive is assuming that the problem is from them alone. What I mean is this: if you are a woman watching me, don't always assume the problem is from you. If you're a man, don't always assume the problem is from you. However, it's sad to say that in many situations, especially in African countries, it has been noticed that a lot of women assume that the problem of infertility is just from them. So when it comes to infertility, trying to conceive is a teamwork. So if you've been trying to get pregnant and after 1 year of consistently having intercourse without any form of protection or contraception, you've not been able to achieve what you want, it is recommended that both you and your partner book an appointment with a doctor and have a discussion so that you both will be checked out. Yes, both of you have to be checked out initially, and then when the problem has been identified, either from one person or from the other, then it will be focused on that person. The treatment will be focused on that person, and then it's easier to manage the situation. But it's sad to say that in many situations, even in the course of my practice, while in Nigeria especially, I've come to realize that when a couple is experiencing infertility, most of the time it's only the women that you see coming to hospital to seek for solution. And that is a very big mistake that a lot of couples are making. So I'm bringing it to your notice that if you are in that situation, it is time that you involve your partner. If you are the only one who has been going to look for the solution from the doctors, from the hospital, always ensure that your partner gets tested out. For the males, it's just a semen analysis they need. And while doing that, the doctors look out for the shape, the motility, that is how the sperm cells move, and also the sperm count. By doing this investigation, it's very easy to rule out the man from the process, and if everything is fine, then he can go and you will be focused on. In the same way, investigations will be carried out for the woman to find out if she is the cause. So never make that mistake. That is the number one. Now, the second mistake that some couples have made in the past is waiting too long to try. Yes, I understand that, especially because of the economic situation in various parts of the world, a lot of couples are scared to begin a family when they are not yet ready. So waiting too long to try could be a mistake you could be making. So don't get me wrong, I'm not here to tell you when you will get pregnant or when you shouldn't. But it is important to know that when it comes to fertility, time is everything. Timing is everything. So the younger you are, the more you are likely to get pregnant faster with less complication. So in this situation, a lot of people begin to think of, oh, I need to finish my schooling, I need to build my career to a certain level, to attain a certain level of financial security, save up enough funds. All of that is really, really important, because when we talk about having a baby, it's quite expensive. It requires a lot of finances. So I understand it when you plan on that. But if you are a woman, for instance, you are in your late 30s or you are in your early 30s, even your late 20s, it is really, really important that you prioritize what is really important for you at that time and stick to it. So remember that waiting too long to try could be a problem for you if you do not try at the right time, or if you wait for so long when it becomes quite difficult to achieve pregnancy. This third point is so common, and that is obsessing about sex positions. Yes, a lot of people, when trying to conceive, engage in various kinds of discussions, seeking for advice from here and there. And some people will tell you, oh, the sex position matters. It helps you to get pregnant faster. I'm here to tell you that that is a big lie. Now, when it comes to getting pregnant, as soon as a man ejaculates, the healthiest sperm cells swim quickly to go and find where the egg is located. So it's not about you lying down for 5 minutes, lifting your leg up to the sky and doing all of those maneuvers. None of that works. That is not true. So obsessing about the sex positions and the different angles doesn't really mean anything. In fact, as soon as you finish and you stand up, all of that which goes out is regarded as waste. They are not needed. They are not able to make a baby, and that is why they are coming out. The ones that are healthy enough to make a baby have already found their way into the fallopian tube looking for the egg. So, do not obsess about sex positions because they don't in any way contribute to fertility. The next mistake which a lot of couples make is going to the fertility specialist too soon. We see a lot of these couples come in to ask for help when it is not yet time. Now, if you're trying to get pregnant, it's expected that if you are a healthy couple and if for the woman you are under the age of 35 years, you are expected to have unprotected intercourse with no form of contraception for at least 1 year before you seek the help of any healthcare professional. If it's not up to 1 year, it's recommended that you wait. We understand that this wait can be frustrating for so many people. So many people want it so quick and they cannot just wait. But it's expected that you wait, take it easy, slow and steady. And it's been found out that during this period of waiting, about 80% of couples get pregnant naturally without any form of help. So that could also be your case if you're in this situation and you feel like, oh, I think I need to go and seek help. And if you're less than 35, you have no pre-existing health condition whatsoever, and so is your partner. It is best to wait for that 1 year. And if after 1 year, nothing happens, then you're free, book an appointment with your doctor and go get checked out. So that is my honest advice for you. And so let's get to the next point. Unlike couples who go to a fertility specialist too early, on the other hand, we have this other set of couples who make another mistake of waiting too long before they go to see a fertility specialist. Now, when we talk about waiting too long to see a fertility specialist, what does it mean? How will you know that you've waited so long or that it's really time for you to go and see that your fertility specialist? Now come closer, let me tell you. If you are above the age of 35 years as a woman, you don't have to wait for 1 year before you go see your doctor. Just 6 months of trying is enough, and then you just go and see your doctor. Also, if you have problems with your menstrual cycle, let's take for instance, a normal cycle is usually between 21 to 35 days. Some people will tell you 25 to 35 days. But let's take for instance 21 to 35 days. Now, if you have a cycle length that is less than 21 days or a cycle length that is more than 35 days, in that situation, it is expected that you go earlier to see your doctor. If you have very painful periods or very heavy periods, it's also important that you go see your doctor as early as possible while trying to conceive. Also, for people who have had a significant pelvic infection in the past, or you think you might have been exposed in one way or the other to one form of STI or STDs, now it's time to go checked out as soon as possible. You don't have to wait for that 1 year before you seek help. So for these kinds of people, it is important that you go and see your doctor. So remember, in summary, I'm telling you, if you are above the age of 35, if your cycle length is less than 21 days or more than 35 days, if you have any significant pelvic infection or you've been exposed to some STIs, just think you've been exposed to it. Yes, it's also a good reason for you to go see your doctor in this instance. So that is a mistake a lot of couples make because they've had, oh, you have to wait for 1 year. Remember, there are exceptions to these rules. Now, let's talk about the next mistake. The next mistake a lot of women make is not knowing when they ovulate. This is quite a very big mistake. So when we talk about this, many women actually have the 28-day cycle, which is like an average, but Many women actually do have a 28 days cycle. But remember that every woman varies. And when we talk about this, some women have longer and while others have a shorter cycle. So to make it simple, to know exactly the day you ovulate, know your cycle length first. If you know your cycle length, subtract 14 from your cycle length, and that gives you the day you ovulate. I know this might be a bit confusing, and I am sorry I've not been able to make that video on how to know the exact day you ovulate. I promise I'm still working on that. My problem is that I wanted to do it as a voiceover, but because I'm still new in this YouTube, guys, I don't really know how to go about it. It's been giving me a headache actually. So by the time I'm able to come up with that, I am sure going to post that video. It's really going to help you to know how to calculate your cycle length, irrespective of if you have a 28-day cycle or if you have a longer or shorter cycle. Because I cannot just tell you it's going to be on this date, because every woman's cycle varies. So simply put, when you subtract 14 from that your cycle length, it gives you the day you ovulate. So if you don't know exactly when you ovulate, it's going to be very difficult to know the right times to have intercourse the more in order to achieve pregnancy. So that is another mistake, and make sure you are not among those who are making this mistake, because that could just be the reason you've not been able to get pregnant. The next point is having sex only on your ovulation day. This is a very common mistake. I've heard a lot of people talk about it. Even on the internet, you hear a lot of people tell you, oh, just wait until the ovulation day so you can have sex. Some will even tell you, oh, it's best, don't have sex until it is close to the ovulation day. They will tell you, oh, if you're having sex regularly, your mass sperm count will drop so badly, and when it's now time for you to ovulate, you will not have enough sperm cells to fertilize your egg. I'm here to tell you that that is not true. So when we are talking about not having sex regularly, it is recommended that you can have sex every other day or every 2 to 3 days. Having sex just on your ovulation day is another mistake that you could be making that can prevent you from getting pregnant. This is because a woman has at least 6 days of fertile window. So what this means is that if you are ovulating today, normally when a woman releases an egg, which is the ovulation, that egg can last between 12 to 48 hours. So let's say, for instance, this is at about 4 p.m. You ovulated at 4 p.m. You have up until at least 4 p.m. tomorrow before that egg eventually dies. So you have the whole of today and also tomorrow up until 4 p.m. So that is it. You've got like 2 days. And before this time, you also can have sex, and it is expected that the sperm cell can stay in the woman's fallopian tube for between 3 to 5 days. So even if you've had sex in the past 3 days, that sperm cell that has been there in your fallopian tube can still fertilize the egg you have in your fallopian tubes today. It is still very possible. So it's not really the best thing to say, oh, you just have to wait up until that day before you have sex. The reason you have to know your ovulation period, as I mentioned in the last point, is because it will help you to actually plan your intercourse so that at that time you can even have it more often. It doesn't mean it must just be on that day and that ends it. So that is another mistake a lot of couples have been making, and that I am here to help you correct. Try this and let me know how it works out. Let's talk about the final mistake that couples make when trying to conceive, and that is clinging on to unhealthy habits. We know for sure that when a woman is pregnant, you tell her, avoid smoking, avoid alcohol, avoid the strenuous work or strenuous exercise, avoid this and avoid that. We all believe in that. But I am here to let you know that you don't have to get pregnant before you begin to cling on to healthy habits. It is very important that you begin to have those healthy habits even while you're trying to get pregnant. This is because all of that unhealthy habits have a very negative influence or a very negative effect on your fertility. That is the absolute truth. And I totally understand that it can be very difficult to let go of some of these unhealthy habits, especially those ones that are very addictive, like smoking or being addicted to alcohol and the rest of them. It is very important that you avoid these things if you really want to achieve that baby or to have that conception that you are looking for. So that is all I'm going to be telling you in today's video. If you enjoyed this video, kindly give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And remember, here we talk about fertility, women's health, and everything health. Thank you for watching, and I wish you the very best in your journey of trying to conceive. If you've made any of these mistakes, kindly leave them for me in the comment section. If you've got any questions, leave them for me in the comment section, and I'll be giving you my answers. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next. Bye for now.